In the vast expanse of space, the spaceship Odyssey hurtled through the darkness, its sleek hull reflecting the light of distant stars. Captain Morgan Barrett, a seasoned spacefarer with silver hair and a rugged demeanor, gazed at the holographic display in front of him, his brow furrowed with concentration. The Odyssey had picked up a signal from an uncharted planet in the Alpha Centauri system, a signal that hinted at intelligent life. The bridge of the Odyssey buzzed with anticipation. Lieutenant Aisha Khan, the ship's communication officer, worked furiously at her console, decoding the alien transmission. "Captain, I've isolated the signal," she announced, her voice trembling with excitement. "It's definitely of intelligent origin, and it seems to be an invitation." "Prepare for descent," Barrett ordered, his eyes locked on the display. "Let's see who we're dealing with." As the Odyssey descended through the planet's atmosphere, the crew gathered at the observation deck, peering out at the alien landscape below. The landing site was a sprawling metropolis of sleek towers and shimmering lights. The architecture was unlike anything the humans had ever seen, with structures that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Captain Barrett, flanked by his first officer, Commander Elena Ruiz, and Dr. Evelyn Moore, the ship's xenobiologist, prepared to meet the planet's inhabitants. The ramp of the Odyssey lowered, and a delegation of aliens approached, their appearance both majestic and intimidating. The leader of the alien delegation, a tall, elegant being with iridescent skin and multifaceted eyes, introduced himself through a series of musical tones, which the ship's AI translated instantly. "I am Zaylor," the alien leader said. "Welcome to Ilaria." Captain Barrett stepped forward, extending a hand in the universal gesture of friendship. "I am Captain Morgan Barrett of the spaceship Odyssey. We come in peace." The initial moments of contact were tense but filled with mutual curiosity. The humans and Ilarian delegation exchanged pleasantries, with Zaylor showing a keen interest in human culture and technology. Captain Barrett and his crew were invited to explore the city and learn about Ilarian society. The Ilarian metropolis was a marvel of advanced technology and artistic beauty. The buildings were constructed of a translucent material that shimmered in the sunlight, and the streets were lined with exotic flora that seemed to pulse with a gentle luminescence. The air was filled with the melodious hum of Ilarian music, which played from unseen sources, adding to the surreal atmosphere. As the humans walked through the city, they noticed the Ilarians' graceful movements and their harmonious interactions with their environment. Lieutenant Khan pointed out various technological marvels, from floating transport pods to advanced medical facilities. "This place is like something out of a dream," she remarked. Dr. Moore, ever the scientist, was fascinated by the Ilarian biology. She observed their iridescent skin, noting how it changed color in response to different stimuli. "Their biochemistry must be incredibly complex," she mused. "I can't wait to study it further." That evening, Zaylor invited the human delegation to a grand feast in their honor. The banquet hall was a sight to behold, with tables laden with exotic dishes and fragrant spices. The humans marveled at the alien cuisine, each dish more intriguing than the last. Zaylor, noticing their curiosity, gestured to a platter of vibrant, jewel-like fruits. "This," Zaylor explained, "is our most prized delicacy. It is said to be a gift from the gods, a fruit that can only be harvested once every decade. We call it Eurixa." Captain Barrett, always eager to experience new cultures, reached for a piece of Eurixa. As he bit into the fruit, a wave of intense flavor washed over him. It was sweet and tangy, with a hint of bitterness that lingered on the tongue. His eyes widened in surprise, and he couldn't help but smile. "This is incredible," he exclaimed. "What is it made of?" Zaylor's eyes gleamed with amusement. "It is a rare plant that grows only in the depths of our planet. Its properties are unique." The other members of the human delegation followed Barrett's lead, sampling the Eurixa and other alien delicacies. Commander Ruiz, known for her adventurous spirit, tried a dish that looked like shimmering crystals and tasted of the ocean. Lieutenant Khan found herself enamored with a spicy, aromatic stew that seemed to warm her from the inside out. As the feast continued, the humans shared stories of Earth and their journey through space. The Ilarians listened with rapt attention, fascinated by the humans' resilience and ingenuity. In return, Zayler and his people spoke of their own history, their struggles, and their triumphs. It was a night of connection and understanding, a true meeting of minds and cultures. However, not all was as it seemed. As the humans continued to enjoy the feast, Dr. Moore, ever vigilant, noticed something strange. Her handheld scanner, which she always carried, had picked up an unusual reading from the Erixa. Curious, she discreetly analyzed a sample of the fruit. Her findings were shocking. The Erixa contained a compound remarkably similar to cyanide, a deadly poison to humans. Dr. Moore's mind raced as she considered the implications. She hurriedly approached Captain Barrett, who was still savoring the alien delicacy. "Captain, we need to talk," she whispered urgently, pulling him aside. Barrett's expression turned serious as he listened to Dr. Moore's explanation. The room seemed to close in around them, the festive atmosphere now tinged with a sense of impending danger. How could something so delicious be so dangerous? Dr. Moore explained her findings to Barrett, showing him the data on her handheld scanner. The Erixa contains a compound remarkably similar to cyanide. It's a deadly poison to humans. Barrett's eyes widened in shock. He glanced back at his crew, who were still enjoying the alien delicacies, unaware of the danger. "We need to warn the others," he said, his voice tense, "but we can't offend our hosts." Before Barrett could decide on a course of action, Zayler approached, his multifaceted eyes shimmering with curiosity. "Is something matter, Captain?" Barrett took a deep breath, knowing that honesty was their best option. "Dr. Moore has discovered something concerning about the Erixa. It contains a compound that's toxic to humans. We're worried about the safety of our crew." Zayler's expression shifted, a mix of surprise and understanding. "Ah, I see. What you call poison we call nourishment. Our biologies are indeed different. Please follow me. There is much we need to discuss." Zayler led Barrett, Dr. Moore, and the other senior crew members to a private chamber, where they could speak freely. The room was adorned with intricate tapestries and soft glowing lights that created a calming atmosphere. "Please sit," Zayler said, gesturing to a set of comfortable-looking chairs. "Let us address your concerns." As they sat down, Zayler began to explain. "The Erixa is a rare and cherished fruit on our planet. It contains a compound that, to us, is a powerful nutrient. Our bodies have evolved to produce an enzyme that neutralizes the toxin, turning it into a vital source of energy and sustenance." Dr. Moore listened intently, her scientific curiosity piqued. "Fascinating. So, your species has a unique enzyme that allows you to safely consume the Erixa." "Precisely," Zayler replied. "This enzyme is a result of millions of years of evolution. It is a testament to the diversity of life in the universe. What harms one species may sustain another." Captain Barrett nodded, a sense of relief washing over him. "Thank you for explaining, Zayler. This could have been a disaster if we didn't understand each other. We must be careful about what we consume here." "Of course," Zayler said, his tone reassuring. "We will ensure that your meals are safe for human consumption. We are honored to share our culture with you, and we wish to learn from you as well." The revelation about the Erixa prompted a deeper exploration of the differences between human and Alarian biochemistry. Dr. Moore and Zayler's scientists began working together to understand how the Erixa's compound affected their respective species. They discovered that the Alarians had evolved a unique enzyme that neutralized the toxin, turning it into a powerful nutrient. This newfound understanding strengthened the bond between the two species. They marveled at how something so deadly to one could be life-giving to another. It was a testament to the diversity of life in the universe. Dr. Moore spent long hours in the Alarian laboratories, exchanging knowledge and learning about their advanced biological sciences. She was particularly fascinated by their ability to manipulate genetic material with precision, a skill that could revolutionize human medicine. Meanwhile, Captain Barrett and Zayler continued to build on their newfound trust. They discussed potential collaborations in technology, exploration, and defense. Barrett was impressed by the Alarian advancements in energy production and sustainable living, while Zayler was intrigued by human ingenuity and resilience. However, as the humans and Alarians grew closer, a shadow loomed on the horizon. Unbeknownst to both parties, a hostile alien race known as the Krog had been monitoring their interactions. The Krog, ruthless and warlike, saw the alliance as a threat to their dominion. One night as the city slept, the Krog launched a surprise attack. Their sleek black ships descended from the sky, firing beams of energy that tore through buildings and sent debris flying. The humans and their new allies scrambled to defend themselves. Captain Barrett rallied his crew, coordinating with Zaylor and the Alarian defense forces. The Odyssey took to the skies, its weapons systems primed and ready. The battle was fierce and chaotic, with explosions lighting up the night sky. Barrett's tactical genius and Zaylor's knowledge of the terrain gave them an edge, but the Krag were relentless. The city's defenses began to falter, and it seemed all hope was lost. Then, a brilliant idea struck Dr. Moore. "The Eryxa compound," she exclaimed. "We can use it against the Krog. They won't have the enzyme to neutralize it." With Zaylor's help, they quickly synthesized the compound into a gas and deployed it across the battlefield. The Krog, unprepared for such a tactic, were overwhelmed. Their ships faltered, and their troops fell in droves. The tide of battle turned in favor of the defenders. The Krog retreated, their forces decimated. The city lay in ruins, but the alliance had survived. The humans and Alarians worked together to rebuild, their bond stronger than ever. The shared experience of battle had forged a deep trust between them. In the aftermath of the battle, the city of Alaria lay in ruins. Smoke rose from the charred remains of buildings, and the once vibrant streets were now filled with debris. Despite the devastation, there was a palpable sense of hope and determination among the survivors. The humans and Alarians worked side by side, clearing rubble and tending to the wounded. Captain Barrett and Zaylor stood on a high balcony, overlooking the reconstruction efforts. "We've survived the first wave," Barrett said, his voice steady, "but we need to be prepared for their return." Zaylor nodded, his multifaceted eyes reflecting the glow of the fires below. "The Krog are relentless. They will not stop until they have achieved their goals. We must strengthen our defenses and be ready for anything." The two leaders discussed plans for fortifying the city and improving their combined military capabilities. Barrett called a meeting with his senior officers and key Alarian leaders to devise a strategy. The room was filled with maps, holographic displays, and a sense of urgency. As the days turned into weeks, the humans and Alarians worked tirelessly to rebuild and prepare for the next Krog attack. New defensive structures were erected, and advanced weaponry was integrated into the city's defenses. The Odyssey's engineers collaborated with Alarian scientists to develop new technologies that could give them an edge in the coming conflict. The bond between the two species grew stronger as they faced the threat together. Dr. Moore and the Alarian scientists continued their research into the Eryxa compound, discovering new applications for its unique properties. They hoped to use it not only as a weapon, but also as a means to heal and enhance their own people. One night, as Barrett and Zaylor were finalizing their plans, alarms blared throughout the city. The Krag had returned, their ships descending from the sky like a swarm of locusts. The city's defenses sprang to life, and the battle began in earnest. Captain Barrett took command of the Odyssey, coordinating the defense from the sky. The ship's powerful weapon systems unleashed a barrage of energy beams, targeting the Krog ships with deadly precision. On the ground, Zaylor led his people with courage and determination, inspiring them to fight with all their might. The battle was fierce and chaotic, with explosions lighting up the night sky. The Krog, relentless in their assault, pushed the defenders to their limits. Barrett and Zaylor communicated constantly, adapting their strategies to counter the Krog's tactics. The combined forces of the humans and Alarians fought with everything they had, but the Krog seemed to have an endless supply of reinforcements. As the battle raged on, the city's defenses began to falter. The Krog ships penetrated deeper into Alarian territory, and it seemed all hope was lost. Then a brilliant idea struck Dr. Moore. She ran to Captain Barrett, who was directing the battle from the Odyssey's command center. "Captain, we need to deploy the Eryxa gas," she shouted over the noise of the battle. The Krog won't be able to withstand it. Barrett's eyes lit up with hope. Get it ready. We'll deploy it from the Odyssey. With Zayler's help, they quickly synthesized the HFY compound into a gas and loaded it into the ship's dispersal systems. The Odyssey ascended to a higher altitude, positioning itself above the densest concentration of Krog forces. Barrett gave the order, and the gas was released, spreading across the battlefield in a shimmering cloud. The Krog, unprepared for such a tactic, were overwhelmed. Their ships faltered, and their troops fell in droves. The HFY gas, harmless to the humans and Alarians, was deadly to the Krog, neutralizing their forces with devastating efficiency. The tide of battle turned in favor of the defenders. The Krog, realizing they were outmatched, began to retreat. Their ships pulled back, disappearing into the night sky. The defenders cheered as the last of the Krog forces fled, their morale soaring. The city of Alaria had survived once more, thanks to the ingenuity and bravery of its defenders. As the dust settled, Barrett and Zayler stood together, surveying the battlefield. "We've won this battle," Barrett said, his voice filled with determination. "But the war is far from over." Zayler nodded in agreement. "We must remain vigilant and continue to strengthen our alliance. Together we can face any challenge that comes our way." The bond between the humans and Alarians had been forged in the crucible of battle, and it would only grow stronger in the days to come. They had proven that, despite their differences, they could stand united against a common enemy. And in doing so, they had taken the first steps toward a future of peace and cooperation. The victory over the Krog brought a much-needed respite to the battered city of Alaria. The humans and Alarians worked tirelessly to rebuild their homes and strengthen their defenses. Despite the destruction, there was a newfound sense of unity and purpose among the survivors. Captain Barrett and Zayler convened with their respective teams to assess the aftermath of the battle and plan for the future. The atmosphere was a mix of relief and resolve, as they knew that the Krog would likely return with even greater force. Dr. Moore continued her research on the HFY compound, seeking ways to improve its effectiveness and find new applications. Her work had already proven invaluable in the recent battle, and she was determined to unlock its full potential. The collaboration with Alarian scientists was fruitful, leading to breakthroughs in medical treatments and defensive technologies. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Khan and Commander Ruiz oversaw the integration of human and Alarian technologies. They developed new strategies and weapon systems, ensuring that the city would be better prepared for future attacks. The bond between the two species grew stronger as they faced each challenge together. One evening, as the leaders gathered for a strategic meeting, Zayler addressed the room. "Our victory was hard won, but it is only a temporary reprieve. The Krog will return and we must be ready. We need to strengthen our alliances and seek out new allies." Captain Barrett agreed. "We have shown that we can work together and overcome great challenges, but we cannot do this alone. We must reach out to other civilizations and build a coalition against the Krog." With the immediate threat neutralized, the focus shifted to expanding their network of allies. The Odyssey and a fleet of Alarian ships embarked on a diplomatic mission to neighboring star systems, seeking to forge alliances with other civilizations. Their first stop was the planet Voran, home to a technologically advanced but isolationist species known as the Varani. The Varani were initially wary of the newcomers, but Captain Barrett and Zayler's combined diplomacy won them over. They shared the story of their struggle against the Krog and the potential threat they posed to all intelligent life in the galaxy. The Varani, impressed by the resilience and cooperation of the humans and Alarians, agreed to join the coalition. Their advanced weaponry and strategic insights would prove invaluable in the fight against the Krog. This success bolstered the spirits of the diplomatic team and set the stage for further alliances. Next, the Odyssey visited the aquatic world of Thalassa, inhabited by the amphibious Thalassians. The Thalassians were a peaceful people, more focused on exploration and knowledge than warfare. Convincing them to join the coalition required a different approach. Dr. Moore and the Alarian scientists shared their discoveries about the HFY compound. piquing the Thalassians' interest in collaborative research. The Thalassians, recognizing the importance of unity in the face of a common threat, agreed to contribute their scientific expertise and vast knowledge of the galaxy. Their inclusion in the coalition was a significant achievement, as it brought together a diverse array of strengths and perspectives. As the Odyssey and its fleet returned to Ilaria, the city was bustling with activity. Reconstruction efforts had progressed significantly, and the integration of new technologies had fortified the city's defenses. The addition of Varani and Thalassian resources and knowledge had transformed Ilaria into a formidable stronghold. Captain Barrett, Zaylor, and their allies convened to solidify their plans for the future. The coalition had grown stronger, but the threat of the Krog still loomed large. They knew that the next battle would be even more challenging, but they were ready to face it together. "We have achieved great things," Zaylor said, addressing the assembly. "Our unity is our greatest strength. We must continue to build on this foundation and prepare for the challenges ahead." Captain Barrett nodded in agreement. "We've proven that we can stand together and overcome any obstacle. The journey ahead is uncertain, but we face it with renewed strength and determination. Humanity has found allies in the stars, and together we will protect our future." The Odyssey once again prepared for departure, this time with a clear sense of purpose and direction. The crew knew that their mission was far from over, but they faced it with confidence and resolve. The stars beckoned, and the Odyssey answered, ready to write the next chapter in the story of human exploration and unity. As they set course for their next destination, the crew reflected on how far they had come. They had faced unimaginable challenges and emerged stronger for it. The bond between the humans and their allies was unbreakable, forged in the fires of conflict and tempered by mutual respect and understanding. The Odyssey embarked on its next mission with a sense of renewed purpose. The crew, now seasoned by their experiences, felt a deep sense of camaraderie and resolve. Captain Barrett stood on the bridge, watching as the stars stretched out before them. The coalition they had built was a testament to the power of unity in the face of adversity. As they traveled through the vastness of space, the Odyssey received a distress signal from a distant star system. The signal was faint but clear, a plea for help from a planet under attack by the Krog. Captain Barrett immediately set a course for the beleaguered planet, determined to offer their assistance. When they arrived, they found a scene of chaos and destruction. The Krog were relentless, their ships swarming over the planet like locusts. The planet's defenses were crumbling, and its inhabitants were fighting a losing battle. Captain Barrett knew that they had to act quickly. "Prepare all weapon systems," Barrett ordered. "Let's show the Krog what happens when they threaten our allies." The Odyssey joined the fray, its advanced weaponry unleashing a torrent of energy beams that tore through the Krog ships. The Varani and Thalassian allies who had accompanied the Odyssey added their firepower to the battle. The combined forces of the coalition launched a coordinated assault, driving the Krog back and giving the planet's defenders a chance to regroup. As the battle raged on, Dr. Moore worked with the Ilarian scientists to deploy the Irixa gas once again. The Krog, unprepared for this tactic, found themselves overwhelmed by the toxic compound. Their ships faltered and their troops fell, unable to withstand the devastating effects. The tide of the battle turned in favor of the coalition. The Krog, realizing they were outmatched, began to retreat. Their ships disappeared into the void, leaving the planet battered but victorious. The inhabitants of the planet, a resilient and resourceful species known as the Kintari, were grateful for the intervention. The Kintari leaders, a wise and noble council of elders, welcomed Captain Barrett and his allies with open arms. "You have saved us from certain destruction," said Elder Kale, the head of the council. "We owe you a debt of gratitude that we can never repay." Barrett smiled warmly. "We are all in this together. The Krag are a threat to all of us, and we must stand united to defeat them." Elder Kale nodded in agreement. "The Kintari will join your coalition. Together we will build a future where all species can live in peace and prosperity." With the Kintari's inclusion, the coalition grew even stronger. The alliance now spanned multiple star systems, each bringing unique strengths and perspectives to the table. The bond between the humans and their allies was solidified through shared struggle and mutual respect. As the Odyssey prepared to depart, Captain Barrett addressed his crew and the assembled leaders of the coalition. We have faced great challenges and emerged victorious, but our journey is far from over. We must continue to build on the foundation we have laid and strive for a future where all beings can coexist in harmony. Zaylor, standing beside Barrett, added, "The strength of our alliance lies in our diversity. Together we can overcome any obstacle and ensure that the Krog, or any other threat, will never divide us." The Odyssey set course for its next destination, the crew filled with a sense of hope and determination. They knew that the road ahead would be difficult, but they were ready to face it together. The stars held endless possibilities, and the promise of a united galaxy was within their grasp. As the ship sailed through the cosmos, the crew reflected on their journey. They had come a long way from that first encounter on Alaria, and they had grown stronger with each challenge. The coalition they had built was a beacon of hope, a testament to what could be achieved when different species came together for a common cause. The future was bright, and the Odyssey was ready to embrace it. Humanity had proven its resilience and adaptability, and with their allies by their side, they would continue to explore, discover, and protect the wonders of the universe. The next chapter awaited, filled with the promise of adventure, unity, and the dawn of a new era. The dawn of unity had arrived, and with it, the hope for a brighter future for all beings across the galaxy.